What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Black Market. I wanted to do a review on my trade for Lowe's. Traded Lowe's today. Just wanted to review that trade. I was thinking I had a 30% return on it, but I actually had a 17% return. It was a bit of a trading error on my part. I forgot to put in my limit price. I was thinking my limit price was a certain amount when I had executed the order, but sometimes that happens when you're trading on your phone. So anyways, it was still a green trade, but so I wanted to do a quick review on it. So starting off like I usually do, you always want to start with the overall market. So right here, you're looking at the daily charts, like always of the ES, NQ, YM, VIX. So going into the day, I had a bias that the market would be strong, just because if you look at the ES here, the NQ, although the NQ is a bit extended, and the YM, they were all above the 21 EMA, and the VIX was definitely weak below that 21 EMA on the daily. So definitely thought the market would have some strength, as well as if you see the SPY is at highs, and as well as the Q's at highs. So market was definitely had a strong sentiment for the market. So then what I did is I went into the sector. So Lowe's is in XLY, or consumer discretionary sector. I went into the sector, um, and the thing I noticed about the sector was, one, it was above the 21 EMA, but two, if you bring up the Kelts, you can see that the mark, or the candle had opened right at that 3 ATR mark. So I was in favor of trading Lowe's to the long side, but my thought process going into the trade was, if I do trade Lowe's, it's going to be a quicker trade. I'm not looking to hold on to it, because if you look at down here too on XOY, it was squeezing, and it already had a breakout of about 4 days on it. Well, I guess 3 days, right? So typically a breakout of a squeeze is anywhere from 4 to 6 days. So it was getting to where you could expect XLY sector to pull back, right? And usually, as the market goes, the sector goes, and as the sector goes, the stock goes. Right. So, right, if the market's strong, the sector is going to be strong, and therefore the stock is going to be strong. But here, the market was pretty strong. The sector was strong, but it was extended, right? Because you can see it was near that 3 ATR. And if we revert back, you can see anytime it gets kind of near that 3 ATR mark, either consolidates or pulls back a bit. And we can even go back out, see it's back up here at the 3 ATR, pull back right up here, got the 2 ATRs and pull back a bit. But you can see when it gets to the three, there's definitely going to be a pullback there. So I was cautious of the fact that the sector may have a pullback, and you can see where we opened below the previous day's high. So definitely had some cautious going into the trade. Anyways, so if we look at lows here, so lows, this is actually a 1 hour squeeze. So you can see here my setup I like to trade. We've got the squeeze with buying pressure, right? And I want to look, and so my entry point was at around 191.98. So I want to enter at that mid Bollinger Band, right? So if I get in there or a little bit lower, that will get me to the entry I wanted. So that was my entry point. And then if we go back to the Lowe's chart, and let me clean this up real quick. You can see here the other thing I liked is Lowe's was kind of right on that 21, but Lowe's had an ATR of a few dollars, right, about $3. So I was looking for, my exit was about around $195, right? Um, so what I did is I drew my zones in for Lowe's, and you can see here on the 4 hour, essentially this is the yellow line is kind of a 4 hour resistance point, and then the red line is a daily resistance point. and I like to draw these in because if you couple the squeeze setup with zones, it's a bit more of a powerful setup, and it gives you a bit better confirmation. So that's how I traded lows here. So now if we go back to lows, on the 1 hour, you can see here my entry point was about right here. I entered around 191.75. So you can see I literally risked, I entered around 191.75. It came down to 191.40. So I risked like 30 cents on this trade. And that's the biggest part about being consistently profitable and being consistent trader is it's all about risk. Do not think about profit. Think about risk, right? If you're always focused on risk, the profit's going to take care of itself. So if Lowe's would have closed below this midpoint, then I would have got out of the trade. But like I said, I only risked about 40 cents on this trade. So entered here about 191.75, 75-ish. And then I exited once we got up here about the 193 range. And that was for about a 17% return on the trade. So you can see, um, and really, if you look at price, I would expect a little bit more movement, but you're only looking about, you know, $1.50 movement. So 17% isn't too bad, but it's definitely a green trade, right? So now you can see here where it got up to 194 ish, came back down, and then it started to regress, right? It started to pull back a bit, and like I said, the reason being is if you go back to that chart for XOY, you can see XOY was extended right here, right? It was at that 3 ATR, like I mentioned earlier. If XOY was here when I got into the trade, then I would have just let it ride because Lowe's would have probably had a full ATR move during the day, and I probably would have swung Lowe's to the next day. But since it was extended, like I said, I want to be hesitant on this play. So that's my review for Lowe's. You guys know what to do. If you got any questions, please hit me up. Please like and subscribe if you're liking the content. If you want me to review any stocks or trades, hit your boy up. I'll be happy to review those. And hopefully you had a good trading day. Going into the rest of the week, the market's still strong. I do think the NQs, ES, they're getting to be a bit extended here. So we may see the market consolidate for the rest of the week. We may see it go higher. It may go lower, right? But like I said, like I said in the past, it's kind of when you're trading with the market, let the market lead, and you don't want to have any biases, and just take what the market gives you. So, with that being said, have a good rest of your trading week, and if I do have any more trades this week, I will definitely do some reviews, and that's it. Talk with you later.